Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to another Arcane Odyssey video. Right. Today I just want to talk about the state of Arcane Odyssey. I made that, rant video yesterday about the whole, savant lords getting screwed over, but, I think we need to talk about just Arcane Odyssey in general, right? As we are all aware, Arcane Odyssey does have its fair share of bugs and problems. Much of those problems are quality of life, overall balancing, and lack of content in some areas. But yeah, this is primarily going to be talking about Vetex himself, I guess. Now, I am going to state this first and foremost. I am in no way closely related to Vetex and whatnot. I don't really have any connection to him, right? I am in the Discord server, but that's about it, right? I have not talked to him. This is just stuff that I've been hearing about him through community and stuff like that, and just stuff on the internet. So take it with a fat grain of salt. The general consensus that I am hearing, though, is that he doesn't really listen to his devs and whatnot, or his testers, or his community. Now, I can attest to probably the community being one of the biggest things that he does not listen to. And I think everybody can agree that's a bit of a problem, right? Now, I am not a game developer myself. I have dabbled and have very, very extremely limited experience with, being a game developer and, fostering a community or anything like that. I'm not too experienced in that area. However, as a gamer, I can say though, we do have voices, and we do need to be listened to, right? And any good game dev, right, should listen to his community, especially the people that are developing it, right? And if Vetex somehow sees this, that this is me shooting from the moon, you have a good game. Criticism is not a bad thing. Everybody should listen to criticism. Now, if people are, being a-holes and stuff like that, that's a different story, right? Obviously, they're being a-holes and stuff like that, and they're being rude, which, should not be, the go-to whenever you're trying to express your opinion on something. However, there is a reason that they are expressing that anger if they're talking about gameplay reasons, If they are talking about something that is wrong in the game, right? And, whether it be, assholes, whether it be, people that are part of the community, realistically, we're all talking about the same thing. We want the game to be better. We don't hate your game or anything like that. We just want it to be better. And that's why criticism exists. If we didn't care, we wouldn't criticize, and we wouldn't even play. You're sitting on a gold mine right now on this game, right? It has so much potential, not disregarding how much it's already, gotten to. My personal opinion is I think this is probably one of the best RPGs on Roblox right now, right? But it could be better, and that's where criticism comes in. Criticism shows you the areas where your game is weakest, and therefore those are the areas that you should try to focus on. There are plenty of criticisms that many people have about Arcane Odyssey, such as balancing, the numerous amount of bugs, Dark Sea content, and many other things that I probably can't list, right? But they exist, and they are there, and your community talks about them. So listen to them. Oh, that's not good. So listen to your community. Pay attention to what they are saying. That's important. You need to understand that just because you're being criticized, just because your game is being criticized, people are not coming at your game. They're simply pointing out the chinks in the armor. And that's okay. You fix those chinks, and you get a better game. You get better quality, you get more players, right? Overall, your game improves based off of criticism and how you respond to it. You have to pay attention to what your community is saying. You have to acknowledge it. If you refuse to acknowledge it, you will kill your game, because those same chinks will then get worse. You must listen to your community. It is a necessity if you want your game to be madly successful. Your game has already been somewhat successful. You're sitting around, I think last I checked was around 7K players or something like that. But it could have more. There is more potential. So why are you not going for that? You should. You should capitalize on the potential that the game has. You should do that. You need to pay attention to what your devs are saying. You need to pay attention to what your community is saying. You have to pay attention to all of those things, because that is letting you know where your game is weakest. You need to fill that out. And your game will always have weak points. Don't get me wrong. You're never going to have a perfect game. But you can improve the overall player experience for, for the better health of your game. You can improve it. Right? And that's why you have a community. That's why you have your developers and your testers and stuff like that. They will tell you what's wrong. It is okay to listen to that. It is okay to be wrong. It is okay to make mistakes. How you go about fixing those things is what will lead to a better all quality. That being said, please listen to people that are a part of your team. They are there to help you. Listen to your community. They are the ones that are actually in the game. They are the ones that actually have the feedback that you need to make your game better. You have a vision, and you are executing that vision. And that's perfectly okay. But you've made the game public, right? So the game isn't now just made for you, it's now made for everybody else that is playing it. And therefore you have to listen to them to a degree. You have to acknowledge your shortcomings. Otherwise your game will die. And then all of this effort, all of this work would have been for nothing. There's nothing worse than wasted potential. And that's what you're doing right now, is you are wasting the potential of your game by refusing to acknowledge and or fix your shortcomings. So, yeah, please, listen to your community, listen to your devs. But besides that, I love the game. This game is fun, I like playing it, and I'm still probably going to play it for a while, but that still doesn't change the fact that there are problems with the game, such as this. Now I'm going to get this free white eyes. Because, yeah, bugs. Please, acknowledge your shortcomings. Understand that criticism is not a personal attack. There we go. Free white eyes. But, right there, prime example. I don't think white eyes should, behemoth monsters should swim so close to shore. Otherwise that happens. Anyways, yeah, that's the end of the video. I don't know. Yeah, and that goes for pretty much anybody. Understand that criticism is not a personal attack. It points out your shortcomings, and there's nothing wrong with that. The problem comes from when you refuse to acknowledge those shortcomings and choose to do nothing about it. That's when you get a problem. Criticism is not bad. It's not a bad thing. If you really want to reach your fullest potential, accept criticism. There's many things that I do wrong. I could put way more effort into my videos. I could, you know, do way more editing. I could spend much more time on my videos and produce many more things. I choose not to. I will at some point, right? I just don't feel like I'm in I don't feel like I'm big enough to warrant all of that. But if, you know, somehow I manage to foster a community, then that will scale, and then I will have to listen to criticism, otherwise my channel will die, right? In this hypothetical scenario where I do get, like, a channel going, you know what I'm saying? But criticism is not a bad thing. It's not. Now, if somebody's just being an asshole, that's different, right? But even if they are being an asshole, they're probably still pointing out a shortcoming. Anyways, that's it. Goodbye.